I've had FSD Beta for about a week. Is it as great as some are saying? Is it ready for the masses, and will my car be a robo-taxi anytime soon? I'm Frugal Tesla Guy, and I'm going to share with you my overall thoughts of FSD Beta. About a year ago, we got our first glimpse of FSD Beta when a handful of select Tesla owners were given the opportunity to test it out.
No way, dude!
There's no lanes!
Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, here we are. It's going the speed limit too, dude.
Elon, you madman! Wait, there's cars on the side of the road and there's no lane markings though.
Dude.
Oh!
Dude, you tripping out. Oh, okay, we good? We good? It's navigating around the car!
You didn't do that! You didn't do that!
I didn't do it! Dude, I'm not doing anything other than being very cautious, Elon. You're a madman.
In the following months, FSD Beta rolled out to more people, but in the grand scheme of things was only a small number of people. It sparked a lot of interest, not only within the Tesla community, but Tesla enthusiasts and even non-enthusiasts were showing interest. Here we are a little less than a year later, and Tesla is slowly rolling it out to even more people. But that didn't materialize without controversy. 2 words: safety score. Need I say more? I was one of the lucky ones to be in the first group to get it, and almost couldn't believe my eyes when I entered the car. So is this really happening? Is this happening? Is this really happening? Oh, there it is. Wow. So let's start with the responsibility that comes with FSD Beta. Now, shortly before being downloaded to the car, Tesla sent out an email saying things like, FSD Beta must be used with additional caution. It may do the wrong thing at the worst time. Pay extra attention and don't become complacent, just to name a few. Bottom line, using this software requires you to pay more attention to the road than you normally would, because you have to not only be aware of the traffic conditions, but also what the car is doing and is going to do. Now, everything I just said is a reminder that we have to remember this is not FSD, but rather FSD Beta. As defined by Merriam-Webster, a beta test is a field test of the beta version of a product, such as software, especially by testers outside of the company developing it, that is conducted prior to commercial release. Now, we see this all the time in the tech world. Select people are given a beta version of a new software update for an iPhone or Android device, for example, and those people give feedback on any bugs and improvements that need to be made before it's released to the general public. That is exactly what's been going on for the last year with the FSD Beta, but now it's being released to more people, a lot more people. And all of these people will report bugs by pressing a camera icon on the screen when FSD Beta makes a mistake and sends a clip to Tesla. Now, they will also be able to write emails to Tesla giving their feedback. That's a big responsibility, especially since there are no known accidents that involve FSD Beta. So you can only imagine the backlash the first person will get if that perfect record is broken. And my first drive was going to work shortly before 4 o'clock in the morning. And although I didn't need to take over from beginning to end, it did go through a red light. And once again, I need to reiterate, number 1, the intersection is very unique and could confuse any human driver. And number 2, that no one was in danger, since there were no cars within sight in either direction. It also missed a turn later on, but rerouted to get me to work safely. However, disengagements became more and more common as I started using it during the day with busy traffic. That being said, I never felt unsafe because I always knew I could take over whenever I needed to, whether it was applying the brakes or taking over the wheel. FSD Beta has a few driving habits that stood out right away once I started using it. The first was how it handled my neighborhood streets. Now, they're wide to allow for parking on the side of the road without a center strip. As a result, it hugs the center of the road just a little too much and is just shy of driving right down the middle of the road. It does move over slightly for oncoming traffic, but it feels like they are driving a little more to the right than they normally would. When making a right turn at a stop sign, it doesn't approach on the right side of the road. Instead, it stops on the left side of the lane near the center divide. Now, this can leave plenty of space for the drivers behind you to pull in on the right side of the car. And although the right turn signal is on, I can see how it might be confusing for the drivers behind you. It does the same at traffic lights. Even when the light is green, it will make the right turn from the left side of the lane instead of the right. Now, speaking of right turns, it accelerates like it was stolen coming out of most stop signs and right turns at traffic lights. Now, I enjoy the acceleration as much as anyone else, but coming out of turns that fast can quickly wear out your tires. Now, sometimes the number of turning lanes will be more than one for both left and right turns. Now, what I've noticed so far is the car always wants to get into the far right turning lane for right turns and vice versa for left turns. In fact, I had one incident where the car didn't turn to the right from the turning lane on the left. It showed signs of trying to turn to the right, but just couldn't figure it out and went straight in the end, which was perfectly legal because the lane I was in allowed for right turns and going straight. It also has a difficult time with wide lanes and will drive closer to the curb than the lane divider. I've had one instance where the car behind me thought I was pulling over to park and passed me. It even made a right turn into a wide lane, drove up to a parked car, slowed down, and then moved to the left to pass it. Stop signs. In many cases, it will stop well in advance of the line at the stop sign. Creep forward very slowly to the line, look for cars, and then finally go once all is clear. Now, this can be a problem, especially if you have someone behind you. I typically have to give the accelerator a nudge to help get it to the line faster. Sometimes left or right turns can be far from smooth, along with abrupt lane corrections. And like that with autopilot on the highway, phantom braking is a thing with FSD Beta. Now, despite its imperfections, FSD Beta does have a lot of good things going for it. Number one, the car is driving itself, making left and right turns, changing lanes during busy traffic, stopping at stop signs and red traffic lights, and moving through green lights and avoiding pedestrians, among many other things. Now, speaking of pedestrians, FSD Beta handles them beautifully. It stops and waits when they're crossing the street and only moves forward when it's safe. Although I don't have this on video, it stopped at a green light while attempting to make a right turn because there were several pedestrians on the sidewalk waiting to cross. Now, once it knew it was safe to proceed, it made the right turn. It even moves over for pedestrians and bicyclists on the side of the road, giving both the driver and the pedestrians ease of mind. Now, the visualization screen is a big part of the FSD Beta experience. Not only is it visually appealing, but extremely accurate. It sees things you don't and is a great confirmation when it's performing complex maneuvers. Now, I know I mentioned that sometimes left and right turns can be far from smooth, but that doesn't mean smooth turns never happen. In fact, more times than not, it actually makes very smooth turns, helping to make up for the less frequent, abrupt ones. Avoiding traffic. Now, I've mentioned how well it handles pedestrians, but in my opinion also does quite well with avoiding cars on the road. From making safe lane changes to slowing down for cars, turning left or right, it helps ease my mind, especially during heavy traffic. FSD Beta is clearly still a work in progress, and for those criticizing Tesla for faulty software, they need to remember it's beta and nothing more, despite the fact it's being rolled out to more people. This is a video I shared on Twitter not too long ago. It was a right turn coming out of a stop sign and into a railroad crossing. Rather than slowing down and stopping, the car accelerated and I had to step on the brakes. People I never heard of took this as an opportunity to bash Tesla, saying things like, the software is dangerous and nowhere near mass release. Well, no one ever said it was, including Tesla. Now, I want to remind these people of the email I was sent before FSD Beta was uploaded to my car. As quoted earlier, FSD Beta must be used with additional caution. It may do the wrong thing at the worst time, which in this case it did. Pay extra attention and don't become complacent. I, along with everyone else with FSD Beta, understand its limitations. And because of this, I was able to stop the car before hitting a moving train. No one was hurt. Now, potentially colliding with a moving train is a big deal, but train collisions happen regularly due to human error. After a quick Google search, I was able to find at least 4 incidents involving cars and trains in the last few weeks. It was because of my human instincts, I was able to avoid a crash. But I digress. As far as I'm concerned, Tesla is moving in the right direction with FSD Beta. And as long as those who are fortunate enough to have the software take Tesla's advice and are careful, we won't see any headlines with the word crash in full self-driving. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Until next time, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and stay positively charged.